Hey guys, Justin with AmericanMuscle.com, and I'm bringing you my quick review of the MMD Chin Splitter available for your 2015 and up Mustang, excluding the Shelby GT350 and 350R. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what the MMD Chin Splitter brings to the table as far as styling and appearance, why you might want to go with something like this, what it's made of, and then finally what it takes to get it installed. Now this installation will require the smallest amount of drilling, but don't be afraid, it's all done underneath the front bumper and it's all very easy and straightforward. So with that said, I'm going to give it a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on my difficulty meter. Not willing to punch this one up to 2 wrenches out of 3, and I'll explain why later on. Now as you can see guys, this is a relatively simple and small modification from MMD, but with that said, it should appeal to just about every S550 owner out there, base or premium, who would like to add a little something extra to that factory front end without changing out the factory chin spoiler and without spending a whole lot of money in the process. Some of you guys might actually remember this thing as it did debut back on the MMD V-Series car at SEMA a little while ago, and the results were very positive. Now that part was actually painted red to match the black and red theme going on with that particular build. This part is not, however. This part is finished off in a semi-smooth black plastic material, and it will do a good job of blending in very well with the factory chin spoiler. And ultimately, I do think that's going to be the big draw when checking out this chin splitter from MMD. Now, MMD admittedly can be a little wild, a little over the top with some of their offerings. Definitely not the case here with their chin splitter. This is definitely going to appeal to the less is more crowd out there. Again, someone who would like to add just a little bit more muscle to that factory chin spoiler without going with a more wild aftermarket option from CDC, Street Scene, or someone else, which by the way can be a little costly depending on what option you go with. As for the overall construction with this part, guys, well, as you can imagine, things are pretty simple. You are going to be looking at an automotive grade injection molded ABS plastic for the majority of the build here, pretty much for the entire build. And this thing is going to be pretty durable, just in case you get a little too friendly with a parking block or something like that, or maybe come into a driveway a little hot. Now, because of that ABS plastic construction, you can totally have this thing color matched to your ride, much like MMD did with their V-Series car back at SEMA. Unfortunately, this isn't a part we currently offer in the AM pre-painted selection. However, I can't imagine this thing would be terribly expensive to have prepped and color matched at your local body or paint shop. I've said it a few times throughout this video, and I will say it again, this is definitely going to be an affordable option when it comes to switching up the front end ever so slightly compared to going with an aftermarket option such as CDC or Street Scene, for instance, and price point is going to reflect that. You're looking at just over $100 for this part from MMD as opposed to a couple hundred or more with those other aftermarket options. Switching gears, let's talk about the install, and as I mentioned earlier in this video, guys, there is the smallest amount of drilling necessary in order to get this thing mounted to your ride, but in the world of drilling, this is going to be as easy as it gets. So for that reason, I am sticking to a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on my difficulty meter and maybe an hour or so from start to finish. Since all of your work will be taking place underneath the front bumper or front chin spoiler with your S550, getting it up in the air will certainly make the job a whole lot easier. So grab your race ramps, your jack and jack stands, and of course a lift will work just fine if you have access. With the front of the car in the air, go ahead and grab your chin splitter from MMD and hold it in place just to get a better idea of where you want this thing to be mounted. Once you have a better idea of where you want it to sit, go ahead and mark the 4 holes in the chin splitter here using a marker or pen. With the holes marked, go ahead and grab your drill and a 1/4 inch drill bit and then drill out the holes you marked in the previous step, being careful not to go too far in drilling through the top of your factory chin spoiler. Once that's all complete, go ahead and use the included push pins from MMD to secure the splitter to your front end using a Phillips head screwdriver, and your installation is complete. So if you're a big fan of the factory chin spoiler on your S550, but you want to give it a little something extra, maybe give it a little bit more muscle, the MMD chin splitter would be a great and affordable option, and you can grab yours right here at AmericanMuscle.com.